Good morning, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss about the Dbscan. The Dbscan is nothing but the density-based spatial clustering of applications with noise. Basically, this will be used for partitional clustering. And this Dbscan automatically it will define the number of clusters. The number of clusters it will be then based on the densities. And also it will define the objects forming a dense region as belonging to the same clusters. But the object not belong to dense regions are considered to be a noise. The identification of dense regions is done by first identifying the core instances. A core instance, P is an instance that directly reaches a minimum number of other instances. The minimum number of instances are calculated based on the hyperparameters. And also if the particular hyperparameters, it will be considered only if the particular object is directly reachable. If consider for an example instance Q, it is having a lowest distance from P, then that is predefined with the threshold values. And the Dbscan also, it have some randomization due to a necessity of deciding to which core instances given instances will be attached when there are more than one core instances that can reach it directly. And this is the example of Dbscan with a data set using a minimum number of instances of 2. The diamond shape, it represents the core instances, and the triangle shows that it is a reachable instances, and the circle shows the outliers. And this is the comparison of k-means and Dbscan. This first example, it is a k-means with k equal to 2. And this B diagram, it shows the Dbscan with minimum number of instances of 3 and epsilon of 2. To better visualization, the how different k-means and Dbscans are used, we can see in the above figure, and it will use the assessing the and evaluating results. The results of Dbscan do not have any special characteristics. There are no centroids in Dbscan. The instances of each cluster can be assessed. Setting the hyperparameter. The main hyperparameter of Dbscan or the minimum number of instances that are necessary to classify a given instances as core, and the maximum distances and instances should be considered directly reachable. Tested some research in order to set these hyperparameters. The common practices is to test different values and analyze whether the results obtained are acceptable, taking into consideration the number of clusters and outliers are observed. The distance measures is also a hyperparameter that should be chosen depending on the scale type of the attribute. Then the advantage and disadvantages. Advantages, it can detect clusters of an arbitrary shape and robust to outliers. Disadvantages, each time if we run Dbscan, the result can be bit different due to some randomness. But the results typically do not vary very much between different runs. Computationally more complex than k-means. Difficult in setting the hyperparameter values. The reference book. Thank you.